Right. Interesting weekend. I thought that the guys both nights did some things fairly well, and I thought the first night, we had enough opportunities, couldn't get much to go, and kind of an odd ending. But like I said, I thought we did a number of things fairly well, and then the second game was a little different, but up and down. And I thought the guys battled hard and did some good stuff and found a way to get a win, which is always important. And you always feel good going into the next weekend, getting something out of it. But Arizona State played hard, and they're back and healthy, and they play a pretty good transition game, and you got to be ready for them. So anyhow, some good stuff building going forward, and obviously heading out to play a real good Minnesota team, and looking forward to get back into the Big Ten. We've got 7 games on the schedule left, and it's a little bit of a sprint towards the end. And hey, there's a challenge every week, and certainly Minnesota is a challenge. But like I said, I think guys looking forward to get back there. A short week, not a lot of time to think, get a little bit of rest, get a couple practices in, and head out.
Neil.
Yes, Dan. Minnesota went 10 games without losing, and then since the first of the year, they've lost 5 games, 3 to Wisconsin and 2 to Notre Dame. What's the formula for putting yourself in position to beating them based on what you've seen to them earlier and now what you've seen in the last 5 or 6 weeks?
Well, you know what? I think I don't know if that changes a lot from the beginning of the season to now. You have to account. They've got 4 lines that play really well. They have D men that skate real well. We have very good hockey players back there, and they're going to be joining. So I think you have to make sure you're paying attention to them on the rush, and not feeding their transition too much. And if you're turning it over to their defensemen in the neutral zone, they're going to be coming back at you, pretty hard all the time. So, whether you're carrying it in or passing into the offensive zone, just make sure you're doing a good job coming through there with that. But, I think you have to do that. And you have to, again, make sure you spend some time in the offensive zone, because if you spend too much time in the defensive zone, they've got guys that can make plays and they can create, and you just put a lot of pressure on yourself. So, really it's not a big secret, but it's a hard thing to do against good hockey teams. But be attentive to details, be on the right side of pucks, and be aggressive, get some pucks on net. So nothing real secret, Neil.
And it would help with special teams, especially if your power play was able to produce a goal or 2 or 3.
Yeah, no, and special teams always come down to it. And that was the difference in the last time we played them. They got that power play goal at the end of the second, made it 3-2, and we weren't able to get one in the third to tie it up. So no, special teams are big, and that made a difference for us last weekend. And I thought our power play moved the puck well. I thought our kill did a good job for the most part. So it's Big Ten games, and they're all like playoff games, and special teams will be there. And like I said, it was good to see a little life out of our power play. And it'd be nice if we could get more than 2 a game. It's in one of them. Yeah. Half the time is like 30 seconds, and so you just don't get that feel to get out there and go through it. And good power play. Hey, if you're going 1 for 4 or 1 for 5, that's a pretty good power play. Well, if you're only getting 1 or 2 a game, makes it hard to get in any kind of rhythm. But overall, yeah, we thought the guys did a good job last weekend, and hopefully that'll keep moving that way for us.
Yes.
Yeah, and goaltending is obviously important, no matter what team you're on. Drew, when you look at his numbers, and especially some of the save totals in some of your games, he's been obviously pretty important to your team. Just tell me about what he's meant on this team when you talk about, some of the games where you haven't been able to get a lot of goals on the board. And, thinking back a couple of years, I remember his first game in Minneapolis, didn't go well, and he wound up making a goalie change in that game, maybe a little wide eyes as a freshman. But what kind of growth have you seen in him as a goalie since then?
Well, one thing about Drew, when I was around, I didn't have him with my group. He came in the year after I left with the NTDP, but he was around our team, and he came and played turn for us. And one thing about him is he's an extremely confident young man, and I think that's you have to have to be a good goalie, you kind of have to have a short memory or no conscience, where you just forget about it right away. And he's able to get over those situations. And hey, it happens to everybody. So I think that confidence that he has and his work ethic, I think that bleeds over to the team. And I think they know how Drew is, and that he's even if if he has an okay night, they know he's coming back the next night and he's going to be strong. And it's anytime you have a goalie back there that makes saves and you're confident in, it's just easier to play, as a forward or a defenseman, and that you don't have to be perfect, and you've got a guy back there to do it. So I think that's probably the biggest thing for us, is just having it was the same with John last year. The guys felt good about him playing there, and it gives you a little bit extra confidence. And we haven't been scoring a lot of goals. That's just a fact, and that puts a little pressure on him. But he's done a good job handling that, and you know what? We'll keep playing that way. But he's become a bit of a leader and a little more vocal, and it's been good to see the growth and the maturity in him.
And then this season, with all of the strangeness in the schedule, we've heard Bob Motzko refer to everything as Friday and Saturday, whether the games are on Sunday and Monday or, Wednesday, Thursday or whatever. Short week for you. Is this just kind of normal by now that, you're kind of switching things up?
A little bit. It's funny. I spent a decent time. We have Dr. Rosen, who's a pretty famous guy, who's a sports psychiatrist, and I was talking to him about some different things yesterday. And one thing is that you'd think that you get used to the abnormality, but for teams, it's difficult on the guys, just not having that routine, and not just of the schedule. If this was a normal year where if you got sick and you had the flu, you played, now it's not. If you get sick, you could be out 17 days in the Big Ten, even if it's a false positive. So there's that uncertainty. You don't even know if you're playing. Games could be canceled. Practices get moved around. And not even our schedule. Volleyball has to test, so they change our testing time. We got to change our practice time. So there's a lot of that, and it's not easy on young men. And Doc had some clinical terms, but I'm not going to try and get involved in that. But anyhow, it's very apparent when you see guys and you see inconsistencies in games. And I was talking to a friend of mine that coaches out east, and pretty good hockey team, and asked. We were just talking about it last night, and he was saying the same thing with their team, where it's some nights you're like, wow, I love this team. The next night, who the hell's this team? So and that's, hey, they're young guys and they're going through a lot of different stuff, and that's just what it is. So I guess we've tried to do is just make it as normal as we can. Have our practices consistent, and getting back to your question of it being a short week. We just, we kind of had yesterday was kind of like an active rest day. That was our Sunday, and we'll get our practice in today and our practice tomorrow. We just kind of picked up, this is Wednesday practice, tomorrow's a Thursday practice, and then Friday, Saturday for, I don't know, last time we played on a Friday, Saturday. So kind of back to normal. But I make the same mistake Bob does all the time. I just told the guys, hey, Friday's our first game. Whatever we played, I'll just say Friday. And that seems to be easier for guys of Bob and my age, is just stick with that, I guess.
Thanks, Dan.
Sam.
Hey, Coach. Sorry I can't have my camera on. I just woke up. I almost slept through this prep.
It's good to know you got up at the crack. If Neil Koepke can get up at 11, you can get up.
I was supposed to have class.
I agree.
All right.
Got canceled, so I slept through. But the last time you guys played Minnesota obviously didn't really go the way you guys would have hoped. So what is maybe a thing or two from that series that you think you guys need to improve on, or can help you guys?
Yeah, well, there are a couple of things. One, the first one is I thought on Friday night that I thought we worked hard enough, but I didn't think we had good legs. And I was looking through my notes the other day, and you can't play and have any success against Minnesota if you're not jumping and moving the puck and moving your legs. And I didn't think we defended a lot. We defended well, but that just made the game way too hard. And I thought the second night we played a pretty good hockey game. I mean, that was right down to the end, 3-2 game. They ended up getting an open netter, but they were hot and they were on a roll, and not going how we wanted. Yeah, result wise, you want 2 wins all the time. So if you don't get that, then it's not there. But I thought there were some decent things, and what I did like about it was it set a bit of a bar for our team. And when we apply ourselves and play a certain way, and I'd have a little bit of swagger and a little bit of moxie. We're a decent hockey team, and that's the way we have to play. So I think going into this weekend, you just got to be, hey, from whistle to whistle, every shift, every period, you've got to be ready. Again, they're 4 lines deep, and they're all dangerous. So it's not like, hey, we can rest with this line out there. It's not the way it is. And then their D-men are going to be jumping and being involved. So, but I like it that way. You play good teams. Hey, you got to be ready, and you should play that way anyhow. You shouldn't be thinking that you can take a shift off here or there. So, just good constancy of effort, and like I said, play games at the pace that we want to play and the physicalness that we want to play with, and good things happen.
Scott.
Hey, Coach, after Louis' point on Nico's game winner on Monday, that was point number 99 for him at Michigan State. You've been with him his entire career. What have you seen from him throughout his 4 years at Michigan State that really has just kind of sparked his growth as a player?
Yeah, I know. Louis, he's a good hockey player, and he came in and he found his way in the first couple of weeks with playing with excuse me, Taro Hirose and Patrick Kodorenko, and that was there's a line there that had some unbelievable chemistry, and I've talked to him and I said, you may never find that again in your hockey career, because that just 3 guys that it was like they had one brain, and the way they moved, and then Louis can shoot and he can make plays. It was a fun line to watch, and again, you don't get that chemistry with 2 other guys. So then that's kind of been gone the last couple of years. You just don't have that. But what I've seen is that he's been willing to take a role where I can put him on a line, and we've used him on a checking line. We've obviously he's on the power play, and sometimes he plays on our top line, and just been able to move him around. I think his realization that wherever he's at, and when he early on, it was this way. If I put him, I was always a good compliment of a guy. If I put you on a line, that line's better. That's a pretty good hockey player. Good hockey players, they make themselves better and get things done. Really good hockey players or great players make everybody better. And that's Louis has that ability. And when he's slashing and he's slashing by, driving, not slashing guys with a stick, but skating, getting in on the forecheck and making plays and back checking. And, he's a very good hockey player, and he makes the other guys better. So it's been nice. We've been able to move him around. I think with his maturity, he's understood that, hey, maybe he's not in that, hey, he might be on a line where he's probably, might not be able to get 2 or 3 points in a night. But if he gets 1 and does a lot of things right and has a good job in the power play, he can be real impactful. And that's again, it's a sign of maturity. And not always do guys understand that. And especially guys that are point guys, they want to be in a certain position all the time. But from a leadership standpoint, I'd say he's wearing a letter this year. And that's, something I might not have thought he would have had in his freshman year. So no, it's been a good growth with him, and he's a good young man, and has meant a lot to our program.
Neil.
Yes, Dan. As the season has progressed, Nash Niehaus has gained more and more responsibility in the lineup, and now he's anchoring the power play at the top. Dan, what's his progression been like this season, and what do you see him for the future as he gets into his sophomore, junior, and senior years?
Yeah, no, he's done a nice job. And, we talked about earlier, just the difficulties of this year. They're, just the oddness and the difference. I think guys like Nash that, those 8 to 10 non-conference games that we normally have is, that's, you're getting your feet wet in the Big Ten, which isn't easy. So I think it's been good growth, but it's been difficult at times. But no, he's really rounded out well. He's, I think his confidence is there. He's moving his feet. He's moving the puck. He's actually defended very well. He's got a real good stick, and his feet are good. And not a super physical guy at his size, but he's done a good job. And he and Denny, they work well together. And so it's been good to see. And I think you'll see that progression. I mean, he is a power play guy. He's a guy that can move pucks. He sees it. He is also a guy that shoots the puck, which is nice. He'll put him on net when it's the right time. So I think he'll keep growing into that role. And he maybe jumped into our first power play probably because we were struggling a little bit and we kind of moved some guys around a little bit and said, hey, let's try this look here. And we've really liked it in practice, and it's been decent in the game. So, he'll probably stay there, and we'll see what personnel looks like next year. But yeah, he's a power play guy and 5-on-5. So his role is going to continue to grow with us.
Is his skating and sort of puck ability just one of his strengths?
Yeah, no, he's an excellent skater, and he's got that deceptive gear a little bit like Dennis does, where when he sees it and he jumps to a hole real well. And I think that has a little bit to do with skating and a lot to do with usually D that can jump in. It's as much IQ as it is fast twitch. When you see that and you kind of position yourself ahead and okay, there it is. Now I can go. And guys that, even if you skate really well, if you don't put yourself in that position, you find yourself too far behind, and by the time you get there, it's too late. So you got to work ahead of the puck a little bit, and he's able to do that.
Yes, you get one quick follow-up.
Danton, your old Huntsville team wound up wearing jerseys from a car dealership in Marquette yesterday and wound up winning the game. I'm just wondering if you saw that, and in all your years of coaching, if you ever had a wardrobe malfunction like that. Well,
we've with the U.S. team and traveling overseas, I think in my 7 years there, I think I had about 30 trips over there. The jersey bag gets lost every once in a while. So we've had practice jerseys. I've never had car dealership jerseys. Bud Light sponsored a men's camp I had. That was interesting. We probably couldn't do that in college hockey. Those were good jerseys. But no, like I said, with the U.S. team, we did a couple of times. But we used our practice ones, which weren't too bad actually. But no, I did. I saw a picture of that, and I had to scroll through and check that out. But yeah, funny things happen. Like I said, be prepared for anything, I guess.
Thank you.
Yep.
All righty. Thanks, everybody. We'll have Louis here in a minute.
All right. I spoke too highly of him. I didn't know he was coming on. See you guys. Thanks.
Hey, Danton.
Yes, sir.
Danton, did you actually look at the goal that Mueller actually scored? It bulged the net, and then obviously 20 seconds later.
Yeah, we looked at we were getting all kinds of different. So you thought it went in?
Oh yeah.
Dexter thought it went in. I wasn't sure. My eyes are bad though. I don't know. Yeah, it was. Should
have been an optical illusion, but it does look like the twine bulges there.
Yeah, you slow it down. It was weird. It was in and out. It was like the one Louis from the night before was a lot easier. That was like,
yeah,
boom, I could see it.
That was easier to see.
So yeah, we were back and forth on it. So that would have been a long review. How about that? If we hadn't scored, we would have probably reviewed it. It would have taken them 15 minutes.
Well, if they reviewed it, then they would have had given that goal, then wiped out Mueller's other goal, the game winner.
Oh,
or not game winner, but
yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
How about that? Two reviews in one game for one guy.
Yeah.
Oh, don't get me started on reviews.
Especially how long it was too. The longer it went, I thought, oh, this isn't good. They're looking for something. And
I was
surprised they said goal.
Did you get an official length on that review? That was our long. We had a 4-minute one at Wisconsin. That was longer. This one, for sure.
On the goal that they scored, and you guys challenged because of goaltender interference. Okay, that was the same referee, right?
Yeah. Yeah. One of them was. Yep.
One of them. Yeah.
Yep. All right. See you guys.
Thanks, Dan.